Hello, Mark.
Hi, Joey.
We are on episode 56 today.
We most certainly are.
Yeah, we took a pretty deep dive. So we had a pretty good reaction to, if you saw it, I forget what episode it was, but Lorena M. did an episode on garden suites. We got some good reactions to it. We also got some more questions for it. So we took the deep dive today.
Yep.
And we kind of walked through the process. We walked through the costs and do kind of a step-by-step process of what things actually look like.
Yep.
So if you're interested,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Because you're going to learn all about garden suites.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll make sense as you listen to the episode. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Toronto Livings Podcast, a conversation about all things Toronto with a focus on real estate, the culture, and of course, the food.
I'm Mark Savel.
And I'm Joey Virgilio.
And we're realtors with Sage Real Estate, working together as a Toronto Livings team with a focus on helping you buy better, sell higher, and of course, having a little bit of fun along the way.
Hello, Mark.
Hey, Joey.
We are back again.
Back for episode 56.
56.
Yeah.
We're flying now.
We're keeping it very vegetarian friendly this week.
Are we?
Yeah, we're talking about garden suites.
Oh, I like that pull, yeah.
See what I did there?
Not for our food scene, though, conversation.
Oh, you want to get right into it, eh?
Oh, should we? I think we should. Well, yeah, because we're going to have an intro. We're going to get right into it.
Okay, are we doing meat and potatoes? What are we getting into first?
We're going to start with, in a sense, we're getting into, how was your week? What did you eat?
Thank you very much. Man, this was a good week for me, food-wise. So last night, me and Age went out to Lisbon Hotel.
Back to Lisbon.
We returned, and like I gotta tell you, sometimes the first time you go to a place, you're like, this is really good.
Yeah.
And then the second time, you're like, not Lisbon. It was better.
Oh, really?
Even better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved it the first time, really loved it the second time.
What time of day did you go?
Oh, so they just opened the patio, so we went at 7:30 at night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You did the nighttime. The atmosphere is going to be different as well.
It totally was. The music was bumping, beautiful, like Euro beachside vibes. They had these really low seats, which was fantastic. You could just sit back. Lots of dogs on the patio.
Oh,
can I just say, very
nice.
pet friendly. And like, not that was a bad thing. That was incredible.
No, that's awesome. Especially outside, you get to just like experience that, like, and then the nice weather and having that around you.
It just felt so nice.
Yeah.
It felt so nice. We got the shrimp toast again, the chorizo.
I saw that picture, man.
Oh,
that shrimp toast looks incredible. it is incredible.
It is, and it tasted, and it was amazing. I was just thinking, instead of getting into the meat and potatoes, we got into the chorizo and patatas.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's what we got into this week.
Ooh, some fancy stuff.
So it was good. It was really good. Yeah, it was on point. The drinks were fantastic. And like, I don't know, man, Toronto drinks are expensive.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think the average price of a cocktail is? I put it like $20 to $25.
Legitimately, yeah. A cocktail, yeah.
It's $15 there.
Hey, that's better than that. That's a hell of a lot better than
I was
most.
so impressed on how good the drinks were for the price they were charging. Fantastic.
Yeah, and they're great cocktails too.
So good.
Yeah.
I got the one with the Palo Santo. Remember the smoke?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Age got like some type of cucumber spritz. Smooth.
Refreshing.
Oh, so
That's
good.
That's a summer cocktail right there.
Yeah, we stayed there for a couple hours, sat outside, had a really good time. So
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
What'd you get up to on your Friday night there, Mr. Joe?
So I almost didn't have a food recommendation this week. And then I had a nice date night.
Ooh.
On St. Clair, actually.
Shout out Molly.
Shout out Molly.
Molly C.
Yeah, this was hers because I was saying, hey, we should go downtown. We should do this. We should do that. And she was like, no. Let me take you somewhere. I just went recently. Huh. So we ended up at Nodo.
Local spot.
Nodo Hillcrest.
St. Clair.
St. Clair. Yeah. Nice. It was, it was really good.
Yeah.
I was very, very impressed. Can I shout out the octopus?
Shout it out.
Oh my God, I love octopus. But they did it so every bite was just like exploding with flavor. Amazing. So they have the octopus, the grilled octopus on top, and then they have they got potatoes. So I guess they're grilled or not boiled. I don't know what they are. Whatever they are, amazing.
They're doing it right.
Yeah, they're doing it right. And olives as well. Every piece of that was like I needed to take a minute and like
take it all in.
I chewed every single bite of that so I can enjoy it.
Did you get any eggs on the side? Female bacon?
Yeah. I got the female sandwich on the side.
The Joey special?
I put the octopus inside of it.
No, Nodo's a great spot. Did you eat inside or out?
Inside.
Yeah.
It was just cold enough we decided to stay in.
I hear you. What'd you have for your mains?
So mains, I got the mushroom pasta.
Okay.
I think whatever it was a mushroom sauce.
Okay.
Yeah. It was also amazing.
Next time you go there, so they have, I think, 4 locations now. They have Nodo Junction.
Yes.
Nodo Hillcrest, which is on St. Clair. Nodo and Liberty Village. They took over the old Williams Landing space.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, the second floor, they're right up there. And Nodo Leslieville.
Okay.
Try the new school gnocchi.
New school. I saw that.
So good.
Wait a minute. Molly got that with the corn
The corn.
Oh my God, man. It was good. I put her dish ahead of mine in terms of which one was preferred.
That's my go-to.
Yeah, it was amazing.
New school.
Yeah.
Old school is good too from there, but the new school is just elevated and it's got that.
I don't know. It's got that. Yeah, the sauce is like
next level.
Yeah, it's got that like a hint of like not tang, but like just something that pops.
Yeah. I'm so glad you guys went there.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Good. Yeah. No, Nodo's just a gem of a location, and now they're in every corner of the city. So
yeah,
wherever you live, wherever you're listening, check out Nodo.
Beautiful. Also, I'm in the wrong. Hold on a second here.
You do your thing, because there's another shout out I want to give in the food week.
Okay, go.
New Gen Sushi. Talked about this place multiple times on air, but I'm going to really get a little bit deeper in this one because something happened that absolutely blew my mind.
Okay.
So I've been going to New Gen since I want to say like 2008, 2010.
Yep.
On Bluer, and I've only ordered one thing every time. It's a salmon set. I only order the salmon set. Even when I walk in there today, they're like, salmon set, sit down. They don't know my name. They just call me salmon set because that's all I order. And last time I was there, I put one of our stickers, not our stickers, our like business cards with our podcast link on their little sticker board.
Is that I saw that.
I put it on there, right? So I went back. I go there weekly. I went back the second week and it was taken down.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus. I felt so defeated. But I was like, whatever. It's okay. It's no big deal. This time I went to go pay and the gentleman said, so how's the market? And I'm like, well, what market? He's like, the real estate market. I was like, oh, did he grab the card? And so the chef, the owner, at the end of it, he goes, have a good weekend, Mark.
Oh.
My heart exploded.
Oh, man.
I was like, I felt so seen for the first time. So now we're on a first name basis.
Oh, love that.
I'm no longer salmon set. I'm now Mark.
You moved up from salmon set.
I have a name. I'm a real boy. But New Gen Sushi.
That's amazing.
486 Bloor. They've been in the area since 1999 and like it's fantastic.
Yeah, and you've shouted them out a bunch.
Oh, they're the best.
Yeah.
The best quick place for a quick bite for me. Like, sometimes you don't want fast food. A lot of times I don't like the fast food. So sushi is my go-to kind of treat when I'm on the road.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. Oh, man.
New Gen.
Moving up in the world.
They know my name. All right. It's enough about food.
Should we get into some news?
Yes.
You can use.
We can use. I got to do my sound, don't I? Do-do-do, do-do-do.
Beautiful.
Sorry. Okay, well, the government in Canada did something. No, not Canada. Ontario did something good.
Okay.
So, when you buy a pre-construction condo,
Yes.
you currently get a 10-day cooling off period.
Right.
But if you buy a pre-construction house, you do not. And I never understood why.
That's a weird one.
Very weird, because there's still a contract to review. There's still clauses you might want to have your lawyer look at. There's still adjustments and closing costs and all those things. Well, as of this week, the government's changed that, and now pre-construction houses will also have a 10-day cooling off period.
That seems like a very good change.
I like it.
It seems necessary.
Yeah. Very straightforward, very simple, the way to go. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Just one of those stupid things that for too long has been happening. I think somebody finally took a look at it and said, all right, let's just fix it.
Let's
This
fix
is a
the
very
problem.
simple fix. Yeah. So
not in resale. This isn't happening in resale.
good point. This is only when you're buying a pre-construction condo. It's always been the case. And now a pre-construction house.
Yeah. Freehold house or something like that, which funny enough, Vancouver
Yep.
has a 10-day cool off period for regular resale.
I know.
That's pretty crazy, eh?
It is. I don't think we should be introducing that on the resale side. I think that could really complicate things further.
I can't imagine it go well.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that sometimes it's a very heated market, but like that's a weird one. Even as a buyer who might be a little malicious,
Yeah.
I could sit there and send however many offers out and then just pick and choose the one that, you know what I mean? It puts it, it's a weird one.
Point. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There were some talks about it coming to Ontario. I think it's a bad idea. I hope it doesn't get explored any further. But
let's leave that one at bay.
yeah. Well, Vancouver also, when you buy a condo and you have the interim occupancy cost, the phantom mortgage.
Yes.
Vancouver doesn't have that.
Right. That's a Toronto or Ontario specific.
Yeah. They should scrap that too.
Yeah.
Give us the condo when the condo is done.
Agreed.
Especially with these increasing rates. We've mentioned in the past where some people are paying, $4,000 or $5,000 a month in phantom mortgage costs.
Phantom mortgage costs. And there's not really much of an incentive. If you're making enough money back, there's not much of an incentive for a builder to let's wrap it up.
To close it up quickly, especially if they have delayed costs, they could, take some of that extra money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Not a fan of that. You like my shirt?
I do like your shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah, it stands out.
Thank you. You know why I'm wearing it?
Let's hear it.
I didn't buy a Ferrari, contrary to popular belief. But F1's coming to Montreal this week. So I'm getting in the festive
You're getting in the
spirit.
festivities. Yeah. And you're going?
No.
Oh, you're not
I
going.
wish. I've never been to an F1 race.
What?
Yeah, I've never been to one.
I'm sorry. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
You're easily one of the biggest F1 fans I know.
I agree. I've got a lot of F1 merch. I think I've got almost 6 teams of clothing. I've got like McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari. I've never been to a race.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting fact.
One day.
Yeah. Well, they're coming to Montreal.
Okay, so I'm a little bit hesitant to go to a race because these cars move really fast, right?
Yeah.
So you're sitting in the grandstand, you're just like, doo, 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 doo.
And then you're just kind of waiting.
You don't know the results. There's not really any commentary.
It's a preference thing.
Yeah, I like sitting on my couch, drinking a coffee, falling asleep if I want to.
That's
watching the race. So I do want to go, but I'm afraid that if I do go, I'll be turned off from, like, never meet your heroes. You know that saying?
Yeah.
If I do it, I might not like it.
Not like it as much.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm on board with that. I get that.
If I could go to a race, I don't think I'd do Montreal. I'd either do Holland,
Okay.
Zanzibar. It's a wild party. It's just like DJs
Okay, got you.
going
Yeah,
steady.
yeah.
I think the national anthem was done with a DJ last year. Like it's pretty wild. And you have to cycle to get there. So they'll have like 100,000 bikes.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool to see.
That's pretty cool.
Zanzibar is, we're turning to an F1 podcast here.
I know, yeah, slowly.
Zanzibar has all these sand dunes. So to protect the local area, they didn't allow any cars within a certain amount of distance.
Right.
So you have to take the train and then cycle, or just cycle the whole way.
I wonder what a ticket actually costs to get to an infra. Like even the way that it works. Like if you sit by the finish line, I'm assuming those are the premium
Big money.
seats.
Yeah. We looked at going to Vegas last year on a whim, and it was about $1,200 for race day tickets per person, and not premium seating.
That's insane.
It was Vegas, and it was the first year, so but $1,000 is kind of the expectation.
That's pretty crazy to me. Yeah.
I think I want to go to Japan because they all wear like these cool hats, these construction hats with race cars, and like the hands clap when you pull a string. Yeah, the Japanese do it right.
I'm on board with
Oh,
that.
it's so cool.
I'll
show you
come
some-
if that happens.
Done. Japan, if you're listening.
How much apparel has been purchased? I think a couple tickets might be owed.
Adriana S. can never find out that amount. It's just, not going to happen.
Should we talk about new listings?
Yeah, let's get back to work. That's a great call.
We get away from the F1 a little bit.
So we've got a listing at 80 John Street, Festival Tower.
Yeah.
Beautiful 1-bed plus den. And can I say, this is a proper den? This is not a nook in the wall. This could actually double as a guest bedroom if you so chose to want to have one. We priced it really aggressive. We're at $660,000. We are the best price in the building. 80 John Street sits above Festival Tower. So if you're big into the film fest and all that, TIFF,
You're in the heart of it.
Front row. Yeah, it's a really well done building. 24-hour concierge, beautiful amenities. It's a good one. Got quite a bit of showing, so it might be sold by the time this airs. But great price, great layout. 80 John Street, 1 plus 10.
Love it.
And then I've got a listing. Well, we've got a listing coming up on Monday, 140 Livingstone Avenue.
Yep.
We're going to price it at $1,099,000. It's a completely remodeled house. Everything's been done in the place. Bathrooms added. Beautiful new kitchen installed. And here's the best part. In the back, the garage many moons ago was converted into a studio. Mm-hmm. So if you want that extra space for when family and friends comes over, there's a bathroom, there's a kitchen. They got the full nines.
Amazing.
Yeah. Which ties in nicely.
Ties in very nicely, actually.
So let me just end with this.
Yep.
$1,099,000 offers on June 11th. The expectations, obviously, it's going to sell more than that. If you want to get a showing, come check it out. Just send us a DM. We'll definitely happy to show it to you. But yeah, that garage ties nicely into this week's podcast.
The next episode. Actually, before we even tie in, I just wanted to mention, have you ever seen anybody at TIFF during the Toronto Film Festival?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, who have you seen?
Oh, man. I don't remember his name. He's a loser. No, I'll tell you why he's a loser. He's got stark blue eyes, really long hair. I know this sounds like all of Hollywood. He's in a band.
Okay.
60 Seconds to Mars. Jared Leto.
Jared Leto you saw there.
I saw Jared Leto.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Why do you call him a loser?
Oh, because we were at the Shangri-La in the lobby having drinks.
Yeah.
And he came out of the elevator and was doing laps to get recognized.
Oh, interesting.
And then when people would recognize him, he ran to the elevator. He did like 3 times.
Weird. That's really weird.
To me, that's a loser.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how the kids pick up their partners these days, but
That's an odd one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never heard that before.
did you meet someone?
Yes. And I wanted to point this out because it's specifically in that building.
Oh.
In the TIFF building.
Wonderful.
Meet him. I saw Zach Braff.
Who?
Scrubs.
Who?
Do you know the show Scrubs?
No.
Oh man, really?
What's the guy's
Old
name?
hospital show? Yeah. Scrubs. Zach Braff is the guy's name.
Zach Braff?
Yeah.
That sounds so made up.
Oh man, no.
I don't know Zach Braff. Okay.
He's like gone on to like direct movies and yeah. He's like he's done some stuff.
I gotta get a visual.
Yeah,
I feel like he's
get a
definitely
visual.
more cool than Jared Leto.
Okay, yeah, I will give that.
Is that a fair assessment?
That's a fair assessment.
I've met a lot of celebrities over the years.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, good looking dude.
Yeah.
Cool
He's
guy.
yeah.
Seems
So he
like
was
very-
in that building. So if you want to live there,
Zach, are you doxing Zach's graph?
he might be. No, he was doing a movie screening in the movie theater, and I just trailed them basically.
Nice. Was this in your real estate career or prior?
Prior. Yeah, this was prior.
What's the one celebrity you'd want to meet? Can't be a wrestler because I know.
Oh, I was so gonna go
I know
there.
you're-
How you figured that out?
I know your answer as well. So
I was right. Yeah, I was 100%. I was gonna say Mick Foley.
if you could meet any celebrity, male or female, has to be alive, I guess.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say alive or dead.
You could be a dead. Yeah, you could be a
could be
dead
dead.
celebrity if you want.
I would meet BB King. I would meet BB King.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him perform?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Were we at the same concert? Did we discuss this at one point?
This sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Aurelia?
Yes.
I was there.
We were at the same concert.
I was there.
That's so fun. It was like one of his last ones he did, and he sat the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had a hard time streaming through it.
That man played until the
very
end.
end.
Yeah.
Love Baby. I saw him twice. Once at Roy Thompson and once out there.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny enough. He passed away. His death anniversary was the week that was. Like just
Oh, really?
I think it's been 10 years.
Happy anniversary.
Well, no.
Happy
You said, I think it's rest in peace.
celebration.
Rest in power, King.
Yeah. That's good.
Whatever. We know the sentiment you're trying to say. But at that concert, I had a BlackBerry phone
Yeah.
and I voice recorded the entire concert,
Oh, get out of here.
burned it on a CD, and then sold it to some people.
Hustler.
Always.
Hustler.
And my dad's like, do you remember when we went to that show? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
He's like, do you remember when you illegally recorded the King? I'm like, why do you got to put it like that? It was for our purposes only. I didn't make a profit on it. It was for friends like BB King. I was like, here, listen to it. I'll give you a copy.
I actually will. Yeah. I remember that. He did a lot of, like, he spoke a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
He was kind of at that point where he was just like getting out there to.
Yeah. Even some of the, remember the songs, like it was just like, oh,
Yeah. You can tell he was
Thrill.
past his prime.
the thrill was gone.
I mean, not. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Enough about BB King.
Zach Braff.
This is Zach Braff, BB
What a
King.
tangent. Oh, good gosh.
So let's tie in that backyard. Let's tie in that backyard garage / suite.
Joey's getting into the octopus and risotto of Garden Suites this week.
Yeah, that's a classier way of
Good
doing
one?
it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, we talked briefly about it with Lorena M when she was on her journey through Garden Suites.
Yes.
And I think we both had some questions of like, how the heck does one build one?
Yeah. It was a really well received episode.
It was.
And it also came with a lot of questions from ourselves and
The audience.
from others. Yeah. So we decided that we were going to do that deep dive, and this is the episode where we're bringing it to life.
Yeah, and I'm just going to start by saying you did this deep dive. And I say this because you really went deep, and I really appreciate the amount of depth you went into this.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to let you kind of take the reins on this, and I'll just like picture yourself as like the main rapper, and I'll just be the ad libs, like, yeah.
I like that analogy. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this. Drop a beat.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, garden suites.
Yeah. What the heck is it?
So let's start with definitions right out of the gate. So actually, let's start with this. Obviously, there's been a big push to build as many houses as possible.
Because
Supply has been terrible.
we have a housing crisis.
We have a housing crisis. And one of these initiatives was a big zoning change that took place. This zoning change happened in 2022, and it was the allowance of anybody in the city of Toronto to basically build a smaller house in their backyard, essentially.
Provided they had a laneway.
Provided they had a laneway. This was the 2022 change happened with the garden suites.
Okay.
So pretty much that was it. That was like the initial start of this thing. And actually this back and forth ties in nicely to the next piece, which is what the hell is a garden suite and what the hell is a laneway suite?
Because you hear those words used interchangeably, and I think people think they're one and the same.
Yeah.
But
Not necessarily the case. So a laneway house, yes, this was initially you could apply to get this zoned in. If you had a house in Toronto that backed onto a public laneway, you could potentially turn that what was probably a garage or just whatever it was, open space into a laneway house where the access would be through the laneway. But recently, this has changed to garden suites, which garden suites differ because there's no laneway. Pretty much the access comes through the side of the house.
And that's what's unlocked a lot of the city to building more housing.
Yes. Yeah. So you no longer, and there was only select houses that had these laneways behind them, right? So now it's everybody. So that's the main, so what we're going to talk about mainly is garden suites in particular, not laneway houses.
Because more people have the potential to build that versus a laneway. If you don't have a laneway, clearly you can't have a laneway suite.
Yes. Yes. It affects a hell of a lot more people. So what I wanted to do was kind of dive into I was answering my own questions as I was digging into this.
Hang on. Yeah.
There we go. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the process. Then I'll dive into finances and timelines kind of afterwards. So let's talk about if you're somebody who's thinking about it in general. If you've been toying with the idea or thinking, hey, maybe it's a good idea to buy a lot of land, I might be able to do this. What does it entail? How do I figure this out? So,
or like you've been living in your house for 20 years and you're like, well, now that I can do this, I've saved up some money, maybe I have some equity. Where do I start?
Where do I go? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. So even though this big zoning change happened, which is fantastic, it doesn't necessarily mean you can start building. You can't just like look in your backyard and be like, well, I have so much equity, I'm just going to start throwing 2x4s up.
Build a 3-story
start slapping them together.
Little condo tower in my backyard. There are rules.
There are rules, and you have to make sure that your plans and everything still works with the Ontario Building Code,
right?
Which is it's conducted by the Toronto Building Department and the Toronto Fire and Emergency Services.
Right.
So you need to hit building code, and it needs to be okay with fire code, basically.
Right. And Lorena kind of alluded to some of the trials and tribulations she went through with the Ontario Building Code and how this is all a new concept and new things are coming. So you really want to be working with someone who's well aware of what has to happen and what criteria has to be met.
Yeah, I think that's an overarching, like through this whole thing, know that whoever you're speaking to, make sure they got experience in this world because, man, it can, I mean, you saw with Lorena's episode, it was, she managed to challenge the city and win.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you got somebody who's got some experience.
She's like Erin Brockovich. She's the Erin Brockovich of Garden Suites.
Yeah.
You know who that is, right?
I know the movie.
Okay, good. I wouldn't mind meeting Julia Roberts as my celebrity.
Oh, is that your choice? I didn't even ask you who your choice was.
I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer. Yeah, she'd be top 3. She seems not like for any reason besides she seems really cool.
Okay.
Like she just seems like she'd be a
Who's
good
an idol? Give me an idol.
Natalie Portman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what route you're taking.
Natalie Portman, Alicia Keys.
Oh, you're on the female side.
Yeah. I don't know. What dude would I want to meet? I'll get back to it. Let's get back to Garden Suites. Let's not veer too far off the path. Yeah.
So where did I leave off? Yeah. So basically, those are the main things. You need to make sure that your plans are in place that work with the city in terms of building code and fire code. Yeah. And not only that, but the lot needs to also make sense with this. So if it doesn't, if your lot can't accommodate these things, then you can't build a garden suite, period.
Correct. So even though the zoning bylaw allows for it, your individual lot must meet those criteria.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. So I think the very first step that I would pitch to anybody.
Now let's set a scenario here.
Okay, let's do it.
Got this beautiful home, sprawling backyard. And for years, your family has enjoyed the cool shade of the big oak tree situated right down the center.
Oh, man.
Well, guess what, bud? That tree's got more rights than you.
This law kills me.
The Tree and Ravine Protection Bylaw.
Thank you for stopping me.
Can I get a yeah?
That's a yeah all day long.
All right.
This is a law. If you have a tree in your backyard and it is larger than 30 centimeters in diameter, you cannot remove that tree unless you apply for an application to say, I want to remove this tree.
Yep.
You have to apply with the city to be allowed to do this.
I'm telling you, trees have more rights than humans in the city.
It is very crazy.
And don't test them. I can tell you horror stories. Someone cut down a big tree. I think they had to plant 18 in its place.
18
plus a fine.
The fine I knew about. Do you remember how much that fine was?
I don't, but it was substantial.
It's hefty.
I don't want to say a number because I'll be making it up, but it wasn't like $250.
No.
It was well in the thousands.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Not hundreds of thousands, but enough for you to be like, trees have more
this
rights
one
than
hurts.
humans. Yeah.
Yeah. Where did they plant the 18 trees? Like on property or like elsewhere?
No,
You can't fit that
they
on
had
property.
they had to replace on the lot.
On the lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's so crazy. Yeah. So do not mess with that. Your trees are very protected. You ever see those
Boxes they build
those
around
boxes
them?
they put around them?
Yeah.
If you're doing construction, you have a tree in the front of your house. That box needs to be there to protect that
You gotta
tree.
protect those babies.
Yeah. That's all real.
Yeah. So trees could be the one thing that stumps you.
You are on fire.
3 espressos deep, baby.
Fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, take a look in that backyard and take a look at that
first
oak tree.
thing.
So the first thing you want to do.
Yeah. Now that we've established you have a property, you don't have a laneway, you could do a garden suite. There is no trees.
Yes. Well, the first thing I was going to mention, right on the City of Toronto's website, there is a link that is a garden suite summary link. The first thing I would do is just open that link up, look at those parameters. They kind of go through a lot of nitty gritty stuff. So just look at those parameters and make sure that you're kind of already in a ballpark of what you need to have happen. There's a couple quick measurements I'll just mention in case it sparks anything with anybody who's listening. So the Toronto Fire Services, the entrance of the new home, the garden suite, the smaller home, needs to be the maximum of 45 meters from a public street. So you can't go further than that back. So if you have a super deep lot, know that it's got to still
Be within 45. Yeah. Do you know why?
I'm assuming it's just to get the hose and
Yeah. The big piece for them to pass this to allow, they had to really come up with a good criteria for servicing it for essential needs and like getting an ambulance back there, a stretcher, all those things. You don't think about it,
No.
I guess, but when it happens,
you want to make sure that God forbid somebody's stuck back there and they can't.
exactly.
Yeah, lots of horror can take place. The walkway to get back needs to be a minimum width of 1 meter wide and 2.1 meters clearance.
And that, again, stretchers, emergency.
To make, and honestly, even thinking of this, like building the damn thing.
Yep.
Like you need some space to get some whatever trucks, wheelbarrows that need to go back there.
Concrete, lumber.
Yeah. That's a tough one. And so as a quick reference, if you listen to the Lorena M episode,
Lorena Brockovich.
Lorena Brockovich, her lot size was 26 feet wide. So I think the minimum with other parameters that are involved with depth and trees and whatever else that needs to happen, if you have at least 25 feet in width, then you can start thinking about it. I think that's a good way to kind of.
She mentioned that.
Yeah.
Did you just say that? I'm thinking of what male I want to meet now. I'm so deep into that. Joey's talking like, what male do I want to meet? I know who it is.
Okay, let's hear it.
Carmine from The Bear. I don't know his real name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Carmine would be pretty cool.
Yeah, he's what the hell's his name? Lip from
Lip? Is he in Scrubs too?
No.
Is this a Scrubs reference?
No, what's his first role that like blew him up? I can't remember.
I watched The Iron Claw with Zac Efron, who I'd also like to meet. Oh my God, I so know who I'd want to meet. Robert De Niro, Zac Efron, and
De Niro.
Carmine. Yeah, De Niro.
De Niro impression.
Oh yeah.
Yours is pretty good.
Talking to me. I met Pacino.
You met Pacino?
Al Pacino. He's very short.
Really? Yeah. What did you like shake his hand, meet him, or did you?
No, I asked him to sign my DVD. He did. He wrote the letter A, like at, when you do like
an ad
Hotmail?
sign?
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? I met him in New York. He was doing Glengarry Glen Ross, which is a Broadway show. A movie that they adapted for a TV show for a
Broadway show.
Yeah, me and Ara from the Spring Team, we waited out after. No. Yeah. It was just mumbles.
I imagine that's the whole.
It was just Italians talking in mumbles. And James Gandolfini, I'd like to meet too. Rest in power, King. Sopranos. Tony Soprano. Yeah. Right, he passed. Yeah. In Rome, heart attack.
A show I have not watched yet.
Oh.
And I've been told to watch.
I never liked The Sopranos as a kid. It didn't really click with me. I watched it during COVID. And now for some reason, it's making a resurgence in my algorithm on Instagram and Twitter. And I realized I actually didn't watch the entire
show.
Yeah, not beginning to end. I was like just cherry picking during COVID because I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And so me and Adriana S are going to try to, for the month of June, get through Sopranos.
Get through it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So if you see a little bit more gold on me, you'll know where the influences come from.
Gabagoo.
Oh.
Gabagoo.
Hey. Honestly, Tony B is pretty much a character right off The Sopranos. So
Actually, yeah, that's pretty good.
I think I might like it this go around at it. I don't even know where we're at. I'm just trying to find Carmine from The Bear's name.
I can't remember it either. It's one that I'll never remember, I don't think.
Carmen Berzatto is the name of the bear.
Lip from, what is that show called?
Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember that. That's his name?
Yeah, Jeremy Allen White.
Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah, and he was in The Claw, the wrestling movie.
Yeah, he was in The Claw.
Yeah. Iron Claw.
The other show that I keep mentioning that I don't give names to.
He's Lip?
Lip.
Like
Philip, like Lip, like short form for Philip.
Oh.
Yeah, Lip from, oh my God, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Listeners of this podcast,
hang tight.
bear with us for this one moment. Lip.
I never knew Lip was short form for Philip.
Jeremy. Well, it is in that show that is called
Shameless.
I've
never seen it.
Thank you.
I only saw it because I wikied it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Shameless is.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Had a good run, 10 years.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Lip. Huh. I got, you know what my equally confusing name for Christopher Mulder is?
What's that?
Topher.
Topher?
Chris Topher.
Is it because it rhymes? Where does that go?
No. So Philip, Lip, that I would call Philip Phil for short.
Topher.
I call him Topher. He hates it.
I get why.
Go for Topher.
That's
what he saved us. So when I send his contact to people, I have to change it up.
It says go for Topher.
And his picture's a gopher coming out of the ground.
Oh, I'm so calling him gopher.
All right, Garden Suites. So we've got the clearance. I want to meet Carmine Berzatto.
Yes. Yes. So those are the couple parameters. And I wanted to shout somebody out.
Yeah.
If you want to bypass doing any research yourself, reach out to a very special person.
Yeah.
Called Marty Laneway.
Marty
Laneway, which will attach notes to this episode.
Yeah.
But you can reach out. He has, I think it's $150.
Yeah.
He comes out, does a consultation. He'll tell you what's possible. And if you have any troubles that you're about to run into.
Yeah. He's got a really in-depth report that so that's good if you're a buyer thinking of purchasing a property and you're like, oh, maybe this is a potential we could add. You can go through Marty.
Yeah.
Also, if you're selling, ask your realtor to call up Marty and to get him to come out to look what the potential is, because that could be a nice added value.
Huge added value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To know that the potential is there.
Yeah. A lot of people are looking for that these days.
Yeah. And if you think we're a bunch of rookies and amateurs, you definitely want to sign up for Marty Laneway's email.
Mm-hmm.
His weekly or bi-weekly newsletters, I read them all the time. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Goes into great depth. He also shows listings of homes
that have already been qualified.
Yeah.
So he's got right on the website, you can go and see a gigantic list of places that he's already checked out.
Yeah. Tremendous resource with everything.
Yeah. Very solid.
Yeah.
So here's the two outcomes that can come from this.
Okay.
So Marty Laneway comes through and he says, hey, you either have two options that'll happen. You'll have, hey, you're able to do this. You don't have to worry about
going to the city.
You still need to get your permits, but you're able to do this.
For permission, correct. You don't have to go to the city for permission. Or
alternatively, you might need what's called a minor variance.
So you're going to the city to get permission.
Yes. So now officially you need to go and this is a complex, really long and drawn out process.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt.
You might want to reconsider if you're purchasing a property and that's the outcome, you might not want to go forward with that.
Yeah. And it involves, it's about an 8-month cycle. So it takes forever. And the reason is because neighbors need to get involved.
Yeah.
So not only does it take forever, but you also have to ask all of your neighbors for permission. There's a public hearing that takes place whenever they book it, 8 months later. And that gives all of your neighbors an opportunity to come and speak out against why they think you shouldn't be able to do this.
Welcome to Toronto, where you can have a child before you can have a garden suite.
Yeah.
It could take 9 months to make a kid or less, and a minimum of 8 months to get heard for your thing. But I get it. I mean, you don't want people building mega mansions in their backyard. It does make sense.
Yeah, no. It's just unfortunate that the time it takes.
That's my beef, is a drawn out process.
Yeah, and here's where the red tape kind of comes into play, right? So yeah, it's a pain, but that's you knocking on neighbors' doors, being like, "Hey, just a heads up, I'm thinking about doing this.
It's a little bit more than what I'm allowed. Can you give me permission type thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where Lorena brought up, for those who, we'll tag the Lorena episode as well, because it was really good.
Yeah.
But one of her neighbors, because this is so new, I think one of the neighbors thought, hey, what are you doing? You can't do this. You didn't ask me for permission. And because her lot didn't require that, she was within the guidelines. She was building as per what's allowed. She didn't need anyone's permission.
Right. You're allowed to kind of just go forward with it, get your building permits, and just move forward.
Yeah. Sorry. I should. Yeah. Building permits are essential. When I say you can just do it doesn't mean you can just grab your 2x4s and start pounding the pavement.
Yes. And for building permits do take some time too.
Yep.
Not nearly as long as 8 months, but yeah, keep in mind that when you go through this process, it takes, I would say 3-ish, 4-ish months for you to get those building permits in hand before you can start building. So yeah, there is some timelines to deal with paperwork and things like that to begin with.
Yep.
Step 3, you figured out that you don't need to get a minor variance.
You're in the green.
You have to get now your team ready.
Yep.
Team consists of, I think, 2 people most importantly, which is your licensed architect or designer and your contractor. Those are the 2 people I think would probably be most beneficial right out of the gates.
An engineer is going to be squeezed somewhere
in
there.
midst, yeah.
But you're right.
And it's best to have, I think there's some places that do like an all-in-one, an in-house situation, especially people that really specify in garden suites. So an even better bonus is to have everybody who's able to communicate with each other really flawlessly, instead of getting one guy from here, one guy from there, because an architect is not necessarily a builder. So what they're planning might not really work with what's realistic with the builder, and it all just kind of might get confusing. Yep. Sometimes it's just, I would recommend going with somebody that's like an in-house.
Where the people are all talking on the same page and they know what's realistic and what's not. There's a lot of requirements in terms of angles and slopes that one has to meet for a garden suite, and especially we kind of very surface level talked in some of the requirements. There's a lot more with certain measures you have to meet. So you want someone who's knowledgeable and all that. Yeah,
we've barely scraped the surface of what all the criteria that has to get hit.
Yeah.
But that's it. Those are the main things. So I think a licensed architect is going to be the person that they do the plans for you, and they'll also tell you where to apply when it comes to getting your permits and things like that. They're going to really hold your hand and walk you through stuff. Mm-hmm. And your contractor is going to hook you up with your subcontractors, maybe engineer as well.
Yeah, give you a better idea of pricing, timelines, materials. Little things go a long way. Like a lot of people are used to putting down laminate flooring. Well, now luxury vinyl is the way to go. Right. Especially if it's going to be a rental, it's a little bit more durable. So having a contractor who is very much well aware of what your goals are and that you're going to be building a place for rental purposes, they might also be able to give you some better tips, maybe some more efficient heating and cooling systems, so those bills aren't so high. All those little things add up to the full package down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. Once you have everything ready, you have your drawings ready to go. You send them to the city for approval. Make any changes that need to happen. You go back and forth to get things done. And this is that 3 to 4 month back and forth that kind of happens until you get your stamp of approval.
Yeah.
And that's it. Step 5, you start building. Yeah. That's when you start pulling the trucks in and make all the neighbors peek their heads out the window.
Yeah.
And then occupancy permits once everything's done.
Yep. City's going to come back, inspect it, make sure everything was built as per the drawings, and if you get all that passed, then congratulations. Yeah. You got yourself a garden suite.
You got a nice garden suite in the back.
Yeah.
A couple interesting tidbits I wanted to mention.
Yeah, what'd you learn through this process?
Yeah, so digging into things things I never would have thought about until I actually dove as deep as I did. But with a garden suite, actually, Lorena mentioned this as well in the episode, but the services for that garden suite comes from the main house. Mm-hmm. So you have to keep that in mind when you're planning this whole thing. If you have a deck in the back or you have something in the way, all of that has to get torn up, because you're going to have to dig a trench to get all the services from the main house out through into the garden suite.
Good point.
Keep in mind your landscaping, that's going to be a landscaping bill by the end of the day. And also something I never thought about was, because you're going to need the services from the house, if you have a finished basement, that might require some damage caused in the basement.
To get into it, to connect to it. Interesting.
So little things to keep in mind. And I think that's why Lorena's contractor had mentioned, to just do everything in one shot. Because if you're ever already in an array, you might as well just...
If it's open, do it. Yeah.
Do it all.
And that's a good point too. Maybe if you're going the reverse way, let's say you've got a bungalow you're topping up and you're thinking, the funds don't allow me to put a garden suite today. Let me get everything accessible from the back of my house drawn up to where I would potentially put one. So when that day comes, you're not ripping out everything you've already put in.
Yes.
Look at us.
That's a great idea.
Look at us.
Look at that thinking. Let me think about it. Oh, here's another one. Question that I had. Severing your lot. Not a thing.
Not a thing.
Don't build that garden suite to think you can cut it off and make a quick 500K,
Yeah.
600K, whatever it would be.
Yeah.
It is strictly to be a second dwelling on that same lot.
Yeah. I feel like that might change down the road.
I can see it.
It's going to be a little bit tricky when you have all your services coming from the main house. I don't know how you're going to retrofit that to have a separate property.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of my family, as I shared before, is from Australia. And in Melbourne, they have had garden suites for like the last decade, 2 decades, whatever it was. It's very common to sever off
To separate.
the back. Yeah.
So, and there's things that already exist that can kind of work with it, really. Like there's easements you can have for the walkway. There's, condos do this regularly.
Yeah, I think, and this is just me speculating, they probably just want to roll out the garden suites. Let's put a little bit of a damper in the housing crisis. Let's try to fix that a little bit. And then we could discuss severing the land. Like if you introduce all that in one shot.
So it's already so much to tackle.
Yeah. And then people, like the purpose is to provide housing. Now you're building it for investment purposes. It's a whole other
ballgame
level. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're probably right. It's a slow rollout makes a lot of sense.
Just a guesstimate, but
and then that changes a lot of stuff too, because even right now you're allowed to put 4 houses on the first lot, right? If you sever,
not 4 houses.
Sorry, 4 dwellings in the first
Yeah,
house. If you sever it, that gets you to put potentially 8.
Another 4 in the back.
Yeah, another 4 in the back.
Yeah.
What else we got? Parking.
Yeah.
You do not need to designate a parking spot for this garden suite.
Interesting.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be something that that's required. You do need, which I didn't realize, 2 bicycle parking spaces.
Okay. Can I park him in a tree?
Well, that's my question is like, you have a whole backyard. I mean, like, what does that even entail, really?
I don't know. I think that would, whatever. Sure.
So
parking spots for bikes.
You set a spot aside, 2 spots aside for future tenants or, I don't know, your mother-in-law's bicycles.
What about, I'm going to negotiate with the city. What if I give you 1 parking spot for a trike? 3-wheeler. Can we strike a deal here?
Yeah. You're gonna need a minor variance for that one.
I'll call up Olivia, see if I can get some.
Swindle.
Yeah, see what she can do for us. But that's interesting because if you're building a basement suite, I'm not 100% on where the rules are today, but I know several years back when I was looking for myself, one of the requirements was a parking spot if you have a basement suite.
Ah, really?
So I think this is a smart move to not make that because it would hinder so many people.
100%.
Ability and I'm not going to get into that. I think it's good.
It's a good call. Yeah, it's a good call. Bicycles are good.
Yeah.
And I think that's the gist of my interesting tidbits I'm going to go through.
Yeah. Well, what about the backyard space?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So because it's not a severed lot, I'll mention this. Because it's not a severed lot, keep in mind that
you are sharing.
Yeah, it's going to be a shared space. Or I guess if you're creating a tenancy agreement, you can kind of stipulate who's using what.
Yeah, but this is where it gets a little sticky. Let's say you have a house that's being rented out to a family and then you put a garden suite in the back. The family's had access to that for the last 10 years.
It's tough.
And now you're saying, by the way, I'm going to be building a place for the next year in the back and you're going to lose half your backyard.
Yeah.
Not a reason to not do it, but just something to kind of plan ahead and think about and have that conversation early on so they know that this is happening.
This is what's to come, yeah. Even just having the construction in general right in their backyard.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Timelines.
Yeah, let's talk about timelines.
Yeah.
So we mentioned architects and city permits. That little back and forth, I would give it about 3-4 months to be conservative, I think. Mm-hmm. And if a minor variance is needed and you need to go through that whole process, you're looking at, I would say, 8 months to a year to finalize everything. Construction stage, depending on, I guess, the time of the year and what you're building, I would say 5 months to a year.
Yeah.
Sounds probably reasonable. Definitely have that conversation with your contractor. Because there's lots of variances there.
And I just want to add one little pre-step to this. If you're getting Marty Laneway to come out to give you a consultation, it's a day or 2 turnaround. He can tell you relatively quickly.
Yeah.
He'll give you the report back really fast with what can or can't be done.
Yeah. That's an awesome. It's awesome that he's doing that in general.
Yeah. Talk to me about the Benjamins.
Let's talk about the costs. Okay, so design and permits, that whole initial process, I think if you set aside 10 to 20,000 is where that would sit.
Yep.
To kind of get the job done. The construction itself, this is the big expense, obviously. Depending on, again, what you're building, I would say if you have about 200,000 to 400,000, that's where wiggle room. I mean, it can go up obviously from that, depending on how intense you're going.
I think 2 might even be tough. I think you're minimum 3s.
Yeah, you're in. That's fair to say.
I mean, if you're building a very small one, it's possible, but you got to really think of the future. If you're building a really small one, how much rent you're going to get out of it? How long is it going to take for you to make that back? Is it even worth it?
Right, and then there's, also the opportunity of what if you have something existing back there already? Can you make use of something that already stands, which could bring your costs down?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And maybe also to add, like, this doesn't have to be for rental purposes either. This could be for an aging population. If you want a mother-in-law or mother, father, whatever, like a family member to move in. Kids, you could be planning for your kids' future where they want their own independence and space, but you kind of want to keep everything together. Also, like, it doesn't have to be purely for rental purposes.
No, 100%. There's so many uses for it. I mean, even just adding land value.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you had to sell the house, you have this garden suite in the back, it's definitely going to improve the overall value of your house.
Yep.
And this is where you have to be careful with how much money you put into it, because you don't want to put something, you don't want to overbuild and you're not going to get that money back if you sell it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, think about it. You bought a bungalow for $1 million, 1.2, you spend 5 in the back, you're at 1.7, you're not going to get 1.8 to 2 million out for the land.
Right.
So talk to the pros, make sure the numbers do make sense if it's a shorter timeline. But on the positive side, I always think of it this way. How much is a condo?
Yeah, this is a big thing to mention.
Right. So if you're thinking, okay, I've got some extra money, I want to invest. Yeah, you can go to buy a condo downtown in the core, 6 to 650 now, right? Mm-hmm. Or you could spend 150 less and put one in your backyard.
Yep.
Right. Good thing to compare. Now, if you're in the beginning stages of all this, because I think a garden suite you're not doing it off day one. If you just buy a house, you're not like, oh, let's put a garden suite in the back. Like, nobody's got those funds to come around. You might want to look at first converting your basement into a separate unit. Getting that done, generating some income from that, because it's going to be way less than 200,000. You could probably do it for 80 to 100.
Yeah.
Even if you had to dig it out, maybe 150. Start there, build up some equity, and then potentially move to the back.
That's not a bad starting point. Yeah, it's true. It's a good way to do it. It's a hell of a lot less money. Yeah.
Well, talk to me about the financing, because I think that's the one piece. We've sold you on the dream.
Yeah.
It all makes good, but financing it right now, you really gotta.
Yeah, financing is tough because you can't just get a mortgage on the place.
Yep.
You have to have cash or equity in your primary house, and that's how you'd pull it out. You can get financing. You can probably get financing for construction itself, but it's very expensive, and you'll want to close that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And move it into some type of mortgage.
Yeah, transfer it over. You could get secondary money. There is B lenders that will lend on it, but the rates are going to be...
You're going to be in a tougher situation.
Yeah, this is where you got to dust off the old spreadsheet and take a look at the whole picture.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much the gist of it.
I think that's a good
little kind of coverage
overall. Yeah. There's we're going to have a lot of resources in the show notes. You can reach out to us. We're happy to put you in touch with anyone. There's Marty also does laneway tours.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Laneway and garden suite tours. Yeah. So if you're just starting out, they don't do it every week, but every month or two he'll arrange one.
Love it.
And it's a good way to see what other people have done, get some inspiration, get some ideas. We should do one.
Yeah.
We should go on one.
Oh, I'm so game for that. Yeah.
Nah. We'll get our 2 bikes and we'll park it on.
We'll do a cycling there is guaranteed spots for us.
Yeah. No, it's good. So reach out to them, reach out to us. We're happy to kind of make it happen.
Yeah. Love it.
Cool. Any show notes, conclusions, shoutouts?
Yeah. Shoutouts Nodo. Shoutouts Nodo Hillcrest.
I like that.
And all the Nodos.
All the Nodos of the world.
And all your octopuses.
All your octopuses. Okay. Definitely want to shout out New Gen Sushi on Bloor. I want to shout out the Montreal Grand Prix.
Yep.
I wish them well.
The one you will not be attending.
The one I will not be attending. No, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Perfect.
Euro Cup's coming up. Are you excited for that? Are you a big soccer fan?
No, but I'll watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. I do watch them when they come around.
Yeah, I'm big.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just like going out to a patio, eating food, watching soccer.
I know where you'll be.
Where?
Super Mario.
Absolutely. I'll be at Sicilian on college.
Sidewalk. Yeah.
First game is June 15th, so we got about 2 weeks to go, and looking forward to it.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Enjoy. Thanks for listening to the Toronto Living's Real Estate Podcast. You could find more information on how we work over at torontolivings.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter to get price reports from over 150 different neighborhoods in the city each and every month.
If you got any value, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you made it this far, thanks for listening.